Shanti Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji. Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji. Even for understanding what is ignorance, we have to look at ignorance as it is fundamentally experienced without interpretation. We have to look at our experiences without interpretation. It is only when we look at our experiences without various theories about them that float around in this world. Those theories, we don't have to worry about the theories about what we experience as well as that we experience. There are theories and theories and theories, philosophies and philosophies and philosophies. That's immaterial. Because truth can be understood only when we don't interpret either the one who experiences or the fact that he experiences, or even what is experienced. You can't interpret. Interpretation is subjective. Looking at as it is experienced. All theories are subjective, and therefore ignorance also can be understood exactly what it is by looking at the meaning of the sentence, I don't know, without interpretation. You see, the object is inert, therefore there should be inert material is an interpretation, is a theory. It is a theory concocted by a subjective mind. You see, the inert world cannot come without the inert material. Therefore, that inert material should be ignorance. Therefore, ignorance should be bhavarupam, etc. This is all interpreting ignorance. But how is it felt? I don't know. It simply means I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge. I am there, but I don't know what I am. I experience myself, but I don't know what it is. Is it limited? Is it unlimited? Eternal or non-eternal? Form? Is it an attribute of the form? Or is form an attribute of me? I don't know. But I do experience my existence. I know I am there, but I don't know what I am. Therefore, ignorance is always experienced as absence of knowledge, not as presence of a material something. It's not a presence of something, it is absence of knowledge. It doesn't have its own identity. Like darkness, when you look at darkness, you cannot really explain it, describe it in terms of any color. You can't describe it in terms of any touch. You can't describe it in terms of any taste or touch or smell. You can't describe it in terms of any of the qualities of creation. That means it's not presence of any of the qualities of the world. It is only absence of light. If it is a presence of something, then it should be available for describing in terms of properties. Any positive thing should be available to be described in terms of its nature, presence. But darkness cannot be described in positive terms, in terms of a positive thing. It is only absence of light. Similarly, ignorance is only absence of knowledge, absence of understanding. It doesn't imply absence of awareness. It doesn't imply absence of experience. If there were fundamentally absence of experience or absence of awareness, then you cannot also feel absence of knowledge. Ignorance can't exist. Therefore, ignorance always presupposes presence of experience, which you can call fundamental knowledge, the Swarupa Jnana. It presupposes knowledge in the form of awareness. Yes, ignorance presupposes knowledge in the form of experience. It presupposes knowledge in the form of awareness. But ignorance is in the form of absence of understanding what I experience or the I who experiences. Non-understanding about the one who experiences. I don't know who is the one who experiences. And therefore, hey Purvapakshi, I don't have to follow your definition of ignorance because you don't look at ignorance as it is. You have it. A theory about ignorance is not ignorance. A theory about ignorance is not the definition. If you have a theory about ignorance, a notion about ignorance, then you will be trying to destroy that theory of ignorance, not ignorance. You see, if moksha comes by negating ignorance, so you convince yourself, yes, I will get moksha by negating ignorance, then what will you be negating? The theory of ignorance, not ignorance. The theory of ignorance is nothing. Why? Because the theory of ignorance, until you understand ignorance as it is, you cannot negate it. Therefore, one's existence is not a product of ignorance. And the universe also is not a product of ignorance. It is Brahman appearing differently. It is Brahman appearing due to non-understanding of Brahman. I would say it is Brahman seen differently. It is Brahman seen distortedly due to lack of knowledge, right knowledge. We don't even call the universe as an appearance. We call it is Brahman seen differently. What appears is the truth. Mere appearance is not the truth. Mere appearance. There is no mere appearance. There is only something which is not an appearance but appears differently. Snake is not a mere appearance. Snake is a rope, a solid reality seen so. The universe is solid truth seen so. One is, one's existence is solid truth seen so. And what can be seen distortedly can be seen correctly. That is moksha. And therefore, there is no such. Mula Vidya is not ignorance. Mula Vidya is a theory about ignorance. Avaranam is not ignorance. It is a theory about ignorance. That the universe is a product of ignorance is a theory about creation. It's not looking at the creation as it is. You see, if creation before the waking begins, there was ignorance is wrong. Before the creation begins, there is only oneness of your being, oneness of truth. And if there is only oneness, that's all ignorance you can't see, because in order to feel ignorance, you have to have the mind. Ignorance is felt in the realm of error. Ignorance is not felt in the realm of the truth. Did you hear that? Oh Rama, ignorance is not felt in the realm of the truth. Ignorance has to be bracketed with the error. Even to feel I don't know myself, to feel I don't know myself, I must see myself as embodied. Therefore, the self-ignorance is felt in the realm of the self-error. But if there is no self-error, there is also no self-ignorance. There is only truth, ununderstood. There is only truth. Even that statement ununderstood is made in the realm of the error. Deep sleep state is a presence of the truth. And if that is followed by the waking state, then it is the truth that is the material for the waking state, not ignorance. I have given you the logic. Before the waking begins, whatever is the material. That is why in Chandogya Upanishad, it's very beautiful, connect it here. When Chandogya Upanishad, the 6th Adhyaya, one of the examples comes, when a person goes from one village to another village, on the way he had to go through one village. He wanted to go somewhere, on the way he had to cross a village. In that village, there was a pot maker. In his angan, he saw a pile of clay. And when he came back, and in its place he saw a pile of pots. That clearly proves the clay is the material for the pots. There are two perceptions. There are two experiences. While going, he saw clay. While coming, he saw pots. In its place, in deep sleep state, you experience only oneness. And in its place, you see the waking. Is it not? The waking. In deep sleep state, you see oneness. You experience there is no duality. It is not absence of Dvaitam, it is presence of Advaitam. Deep sleep state should not be described in terms of the absence of something. Yes, from the waking point of view, it is described in terms of the absence of the object. But it is described in terms of the absence, but actually it is presence of yourself. It is your presence. It's non-dual presence. Non-dual presence implies the absence of division. Absence of division need not imply the presence of non-dual being. Why? Because Shunyam also there is no division. In Shunyam also there is no division. Does it mean the presence of being? Therefore, what is deep sleep state? Presence of the non-dual being. If that is followed by the creation, the universe, then which is the material? Non-dual being. Therefore, ignorance is not the material. One of the most terrible things in the tradition of Vedanta is to look upon everything as made of ignorance. Mula Vidya. It is not made of ignorance. It is made of Brahman. It is seen Brahman. To begin with, we say it is made Brahman. It is made of Brahman. Then we say it is all Brahman. Seen like that. Therefore, ignorance is not. Mula Vidya is a theory about ignorance, not ignorance. You memorize this sentence. Mula Vidya is a theory about ignorance, not ignorance. And what is ignorance? Agrahana, Anyathagrahana, Samshaya. A non-recognition of an experienced fact and seeing it distortedly. An error, erroneous perception of that very fact. That is why here he says, Naita devam loka prasiddham ajnanam muktva tvad abhimatam ajnanam sutrakarena suchadam ityatra gamaga bhavat. Have you been able to find out? Yes. It is towards the end of the page number 13. The book is Sugama, written by Sachidanandendra Saraswati. Haji, you have to give the whole map. The author says, my dear, ignorance should be looked at as prasiddham, loka prasiddham ajnanam. Loka prasiddham means universally experienced without interpretation. This is what in philosophy they call it the original experience. We say the actual experience. Vedanta calls it as yathavat anubhavam. Yathavat means what? Anubhava without interpretation, subjective interpretation. The various philosophies also take into account the original experience, but they don't reach anywhere. They come to interpret the very original experience. They use the word original, but you can't but interpret the experience. Somewhere, some theories will always come up without taking into account the conscious being. Without taking into account the observer, everything will be subjectively interpreted. Ye kaisa hua, ye kaisa hua, ye kaisa hua. Therefore, loka prasiddham ajnanam muktva. Leaving out the universally felt ignorance, which is absence of knowledge, twadabhimatam ajnanam. Twadabhimatam means, imagined by you. Sutrakarena, by the Sutrakara, Vedavyasa, Suchitamityatra, has been shown, ityatra gamaka bhavat, there is no karanam, there is no reason. There is no proof. There is no proof. There is no proof that Veda Vyasa means Mula Vidya by the word Ajnana. According to him, Avidya doesn't mean Mula Vidya. There is nothing to prove that what he means is Mula Vidya. There is nothing to prove that what he means is Mula Jnana. There is nothing to prove that what he means is material. Why? Because he cannot have a theory, even Vedavyasa cannot have a theory about ignorance. He has to look at ignorance. Aham ajnaha, aham na janami, that is called ignorance. I don't know. Aham na janami. I don't know. What you are talking? I don't know. This world, what is this world? I don't know. I know it as objects, but fundamentally what is it? I don't know. I see myself, I experience my existence, but what am I? Am I the form or not? Am I there? If you say that you survive the body, but that I don't know. If you say that I am Brahma, that I don't know. If you say this universe is false, I don't know. If you say that I am eternal, I don't know. I experience myself, but I don't know. It is never. I don't know is called ignorance, and I don't know cannot be interpreted except in the form of I don't have the knowledge. But I don't know cannot be interpreted as I have ignorance. Don't call it I have ignorance. I don't have knowledge. I have ignorance. When there is darkness also, unwittingly nobody says there is darkness. Say there is no light. There is no light. You don't have to say there is darkness. It is dark. Even when we say it is dark, we mean only there is no light. Mere expressions do not clinch what is what. Expressions may be anything, but it is the experience that clinches. We never experience ignorance as a positive thing. We experience ignorance only as the absence of knowledge. Therefore, it is not possible at all to imagine that Vedavyasa means by ignorance, he means a positive ignorance. Because there is no proof to show that he means that. Therefore, you can't have a theory about ignorance and say that is what Vedavyasa also means. You can't say that is what Shankaracharya also means. That is what Shankaracharya also means. That is what Shankaracharya also means. न च अहम अज्ञः इति अनुभवात् तदुक्त अज्ञान सिद्धिः. अहम अज्ञः, I don't know. This particular universal statement, iti anubhavat, this is the experience. I don't know is the experience. The universal experience of ignorance is I don't know. I don't know can never be interpreted as I have a layer of a material thing called ignorance. Twadukta ajnana siddhi. The universal statement that I do not know cannot be interpreted to mean your theory of ignorance called Mula Vidya. Therefore, you can't say, everybody says Aham Ajnaha, therefore there is Mula Vidya, you can't say. Aham Ajnaha doesn't mean Mula Vidya, it only means I don't have the knowledge. Not that I have a material thing lying on me which can quickly transform and become ignorant. I don't know the robot. Absence of knowledge of the rope, not registering the rope as rope, only experiencing the rope, but not recognizing it as the rope, makes the rope look different. You can't say there is rope ignorance, which is jadatmakam, and quickly transforms. It stands there as snake. Snake is not the result of transformation. If snake were the result of transformation, it would not be adhyasa. It would not be an erroneous perception. Then it would be called a creation. But not even creation, it would be transformation. When the milk transforms and becomes curd, please don't call it creation. It is transformation. Creation is a beautiful term. Creation means Maya Srishti. Creation means, like wave is a creation. Wave is not a transformation. Wave is not the result of transformation. Did you hear that? Wave is not a result of transformation. Wave is a creation. And therefore it also has a laya. That means water is intact. If wave is a srishti, it is a maya srishti. That means water remains intact. It sustains the wave. And again it can go back. Wave is not transformation. Wave is a creation. Therefore, if you say snake is made of ignorance, then it cannot be called it is a creation from Mula Vidya. You have to call it is a transformation of Mula Vidya. If it is a result of transformation, it ceases to be adhyasa. Are you able to follow the sequence of thinking? If snake were the result of transformation on the part of Mula Vidya, then snake ceases to be adhyasa, an erroneous perception. Then it would be not perception, it would be transformation. If snake were transformation, that cannot be given as an example for the universe, because the Shastra says this is creation in Ishvara. This is a perception about Brahman. Either way it is alright for us, because the source remains intact and there is no transformation. And therefore, an error means an erroneous perception, and that is erroneous perception about the truth. Snake is an error about the rope. Jiva is an error about Brahman. And that is there because of lack of right understanding. And that lack of right understanding of what is within Anubhava is ignorance. That error also is ignorance, and doubt also is ignorance. All the three things put together is called avidya. Lack of right knowledge, wrong knowledge, and doubt. Agrahanam, anyatha grahanam, samshay grahanam. I don't know the rope, not to know the rope, to see it differently and to have a doubt. It's called avidya. This is, if you look at it, it's not a theory. This is exactly what it is if you look at the experience as it is. When you look at therefore, it is not easy to look at things as they are experienced. We always want to write a theory. And write a theory. And when we write some theories about things, then I can't understand as it is. What is a dream? Then we write theories. theory of dream, etc. I don't know anything about a dream. I see it to begin, I see it to end. I am there before it begins, I am there. And I don't see the dream coming from outside. I close my eyes and see the dream. That means I am seeing it in myself. And I also see it go unto myself. This is called registering the things as they are experienced without going into spiritual theories, scientific theories, religious theories, then Vedantic theory, the thesis of Vedanta, all those things. क्या करना उसको? Who is interested? If somebody says, I will write a theory on your being, what theory can you write on your being? क्या करना? Your being is more important than the theory about you. Is it not? Your existence is much more beautiful than somebody has written a biography about you. Is that book more satisfying or you are? Kya ji? Vedanta is such a beautiful thing. And when it says, Yathavat, जैसे है वैसे देखो. You may interpret this stuff, that is called science. Science interprets the whole universe. But that I experience it, let them interpret. What I experience, interprets. Let them experience the fact that you experience, how will they interpret? Can they interpret it to be otherwise? Oh, you don't experience. Can they analyze and come to a conclusion that you don't experience? Even deep sleep state they have a theory. It is nothing. It is a theory. Whereas deep sleep state is not nothing. I have given an unshakable logic to all the classes. Nobody under the sun can shake this logic as it is. This logic is given by Bhashyakara. That you had a deep sleep state is not your belief. And you know it. That means if something you assert and if it is not a belief, then it is experience. Understand? A belief is subject to negation. But the statement that you had deep sleep state, is it subject to negation? If it is not a belief, and still if you assert, yes, I had deep sleep state, then it is experience. Sushupterapi anubhuyamanatvat, Bhashyakara says. Sushupti being undoubtedly an experience. Therefore, how can you have it's only anubhava? How can you have a theory about it? That it is nothing. That it is nothing is what? A theory. People go about theory. What else people do? People don't study Vedanta to understand. They write books on it. They write theories on Vedanta. The theory of Brahma Vidya. The thesis of truth. The theory and practice of truth. The practical Vedanta. The art of living Vedanta. What is all this? Living is not an art. Living is common sense. Speaking truth, is it an art? Is honesty an art? I don't know. But I can't go by any of these things. The only thing that it pleases my heart is the Shruti as it is, the Bhashyam. These two things, I see there is honesty in them. A lot of other things, I see some gadabada. I am a very suspecting person. I'm telling you. I never take anything on its face value. I just dismiss it. Yes. Please don't conclude. I am a vainful Swamiji. I am a very humble person. I don't have any vanity. But I love to be correct. I love not to be misled. Yes. These are all nothing. Therefore, here Bhagavan says, न च अहमज्ञः इति अनुभवात् त्वदुक्त अज्ञान सिद्धिः लोक प्रसिद्ध अज्ञान विषयकत्वेनैव यथोक्त अनुभवस्य उपक्षयात्. Very beautiful. The word ignorance, the phrase I don't know, exhaustively means only the loka prasiddha jnanam. That is, I don't have the knowledge. Aham ajnaha does not mean I have ignorance. It means only I don't have knowledge. It cannot mean anything else. Then that phrase gets exhausted. Like the eyes get exhausted, their job gets exhausted in showing the form, that is called getting exhausted. Always remember. Upakshayatu, this particular phrase, in Shastra comes. Like all the Nitya Karma gets exhausted in giving you mental peace. It has nothing more to give. That's called getting exhausted. Upakshaya. The ears get exhausted. Exhausted means not fatigued or anything. It doesn't mean. It has nothing more to give you than the sound. That is called getting exhausted. Similarly, this aham ajnaha, I am ignorant, doesn't mean anything beyond I don't have knowledge. That is upakshayat. Aham ajnaha doesn't mean anything beyond I don't have knowledge. It doesn't mean anything that I have a layer of material thing which transforms. A gungat also doesn't. In abharanam, etc. You have to follow what I am talking. Aham ajnaha, I am ignorant, does not mean I have some tangible material called ignorance. It means I don't have knowledge. Like darkness is not a black thing. It is only absence of light. It is not a black thing. Darkness is not a black thing. They say it is a black thing. It has a color. When we ask a question, if it is a positive thing, it must have some quality. Says, yes, it has a quality. What is it? It is black. It is black. I say if it is black, tangibly black, what is black can be whitewashed. Can you whitewash it? Can you whitewash darkness? Can you put some white paint on it? Because anything black can be painted white. Baba. Therefore, aham ajnaha, I am repeating it. This experience doesn't mean, can't mean anything beyond I don't have knowledge. I don't know. Agrahanam alone is what it matters, what it means. Not that I own some tangible material thing called ignorance. In me there is no knowledge about so and so thing. In me, I don't have that knowledge that I am Brahman. It doesn't mean I have some tangible black inert thing called ignorance in me, which conceals the truth. Isodom doesn't mean that. Truth cannot be concealed by some tangible material ignorance. Clear? मैं क्या करूं जी? They are repeating. यथोक्त अनुभवस्य उपक्षयात् नहि अहम अज्ञः इत्यनुभवे तदो तदुत्प्रेक्षितम्. अज्ञानं प्रतियन्ति लौकिकाः परीक्षकाः वा नहि अहम अज्ञः. This experience that I don't know, तदुत्प्रेक्षितम् अज्ञानम्. The ignorance that is imagined by you, that material ignorance that is imagined by you. Na pratiyanti laukikaha parikshakaha. Your imagined ignorance is neither felt by the people, nor is it ever discovered by the examiners, the thinkers. Neither a layman nor a thinking man ever experiences a positive thing, a positive material thing called ignorance. Ignorance is not a material thing. It is not a thing. It is absence of knowledge. It's not a thing. They'll say, these are all things, therefore the material for all these things also must be another thing called, material thing called ignorance. Hey Rama, I am very, very happy that they don't go to the extent of saying Shunyam is absent, is non-existent. It is made of something that is non-existent. Because if thing is made of another thing, the absence of sixth element is made of, the absence of sixth element is made of the absence of something. इतना तक नहीं जाते. Maybe they were short of time. हो सकता है जी, if they had time enough, they would have even said that. Okay. Ignorance, don't worry about all these things. Understand, ignorance, there is no such a thing called tangible, material cover called ignorance. Ignorance is not a tangible material thing. It is just absence of light of knowledge. That's called I don't know. Even when a person says, I have ignorance, it is wrong. Actually, ignorance is wrong. It means I don't know. That's the right thing. I don't know. Nacha adhyasa karana gavesanam yuktimat. Fundamentally, even though we say the reason for adhyasa is absence of knowledge, even though we say that, but even to look for a reason for adhyasa is not logical because it is anadi. Anadi means it is there for want of knowledge. We don't say it is born of absence of knowledge. It goes through knowledge. It is there for want of knowledge, not it came about for want of knowledge. It is there for want of knowledge, not it came about due to want of knowledge. What a difference, my God. You can't say the anadi came about. Anadi doesn't come about. Anadi is. So at best you say, why is there anadi avidya? Anadi avidya is there for want of knowledge. Therefore, even to look for a cause behind is wrong. For anadi avidya, to look for a cause behind is wrong, because You can't think of a behind to Anadi. You can't think of a behind to Anadi. Behind. Pali. That is why the best way of talking about Adhyasa. Sansara is for want of right knowledge pass. Embodiment is there for want of right knowledge. I take myself, not I took, I take myself to be the body for want of right knowledge. I suffer for want of right knowledge. Sansara is for want of right knowledge. Not sansara. Came about for want of knowledge. And people say, ये शुरू कैसे हुआ पहले? In the first place, my fundamental question, Swami ji, is ये शुरू कैसे हुआ? ये समस्या भैया it is अनाज, वो तो ठीक है, मैं जानता हूँ ये अनाज ही है, लेकिन ये अनाज शुरू कैसे हुआ? ये रामा कहाँ लोग विचार करते हैं? इतना आसान थोड़ी है. जो आप कह रहे हो सब मैं समझता हूँ. मैं ब्रह्म हूं वो भी समझता हूं. ये सब मिथ्या है वो भी समझता हूं. वो सबसे पहले समझ गया था. अनादि वो भी समझता हूं. लेकिन ये शुरू कैसे हुआ? हे रामा, हे राम. Please understand, this is the best opportunity for you who brave cold and come here really to look into the beautiful thing. You can't do anything better than this. You are blessed if you are really diligent. You can't look at life. You can't ask a question, why did it come about? You can only say, why is it there? Why is it there? Why do I see snake? Rather than say, why did I begin to see this? Say, why do I see the snake? Because I don't see the rope. थैंक यू. आपने पूरा बॉटल लेके दिया था, मैंने पूरा खत्म कर दिया. Why you can't look for a cause behind adhyasa? It says adhyasasya anaditvat. Adhyasa is anadi. Now, even to ask a question, why did it come about, I have shown you the flaw in it. But now I am just putting a purupaksha for myself. We also say, even though it is anadi adhyasa, it is there, its reason is agrahanam. Can we not say due to agrahanam it came about? No. It is there due to agrahanam. Agrahanam means grahana abhava, jnana abhava. Adhyasa is there due to lack of knowledge. Therefore we never accept. We never look for a cause behind adhyasa. We never, even though Mula Vidyavadis say, even though adhyasa is the problem, the main thing is we have to find out the cause for it. They say adhyasa is the cause for samsara, not adhyasa should have another cause. Anadi doesn't have another cause. You don't bring adhyasa within the realm of causation. If you bring in adhyasa within the realm of causation, if anadi is brought under the realm of causation, listen to this very great concentration. If adhyasa is brought under causation, And if you say some ignorance is the cause of adhyasa, I can also ask a question, why is ignorance? What is the cause for ignorance? Once we look into causation, then you can never find out the fundamental cause. Because even the fundamental cause has to have another cause. Anything that is within the realm of causation can never be fundamental. Why? Because I can always ask a question, even that fundamental cause, say what is the cause of it. That's why when we look at God as the cause of everything, then I say, then who? What is the cause of God? That is why it is an inbuilt mechanism in the mind. It's a very beautiful mechanism. Very beautiful mechanism it is. Any thinking mind, any mind that has intelligence will always continue to probe as to what is behind it as long as you talk about things in the realm of causation. This very inbuilt mechanism, this inbuilt faculty to ask for the cause for even the cause, the cause for even the cause, and the cause for even the cause for even the cause. Even if you say this is the fundamental cause which doesn't have a cause, I say not acceptable. Why? Because your fundamental cause is falling within the realm of causation. Then it must have a cause. That means going by causation, it has to culminate in anavastha. Therefore, analyzing everything through causation is a flaw. You can never know what is what through causation. Why? Because there is no causation. There is truth and perception relation, not cause and effect relation. You cannot solve any problem. You cannot know anything in life through causation. You cannot know anything. You can know just really a few things, topical things we explain through causation. It doesn't mean really, when बच्चे लोग सुनते हैं तब I bring in causation. जब बड़े लोग सुनते हैं, I dismiss causation. I say causation is not the answer. Therefore, here Bhagavan says, adhyasa doesn't come under causation. It is there due to lack of knowledge. It's not. Yatha cha etat. Here we are now, next line. Yatha cha etat tatha agre sputayishyate. How it is also, it will be made clear in age. Sputayishyate tasmat, therefore, sushtuktam, it is well said. Tvad abhimata ajnanam, your imagined ignorance, ye mula vidyavadi. Aprakritam is not the topic here. Aprasiddham is not known to man, is not experienced in man. Nishprayojanam cha tadvarnanam, and therefore describing, elaborately describing your imagined kind of ignorance is of no use. Why? Because there is no such a thing called ignorance of your definition. Positive, material ignorance is not available. Why imagine something and describe it? Rather than understand what is experienced. Understand what is experienced rather than imagine what is not there. What is not there, and then write books on it. Who is interested? It's a waste of time. Clear? Last sentence, then I will conclude. Bhashyakshara bhahyam chayetad vyakhyanam. And it is outside bhashya. Looking at ignorance as a material thing is not accepted, not mentioned by Bhashya. Bhashyakara mentions only agrahanam. Whether you call it absence of knowledge, or you call it error, or you call it doubt, all the three are called avidya. And this whole whole thing will go through jnanam, samyak jnanam. Samyak jnanam corrects, negates the agrahana, negates the error, negates the doubt. Where is the positive thinking? He doesn't say, you have to negate the mula vidya, the material, destroy the material so that the made gets destroyed. This is all made of mula vidya. You destroy the mula vidya and everything goes. Whereas the Shruti is telling it is all Brahman. Therefore, don't accept this is all ignorant. This is all not ignorant. This is all truth. This is all Brahman seen differently. You are also not ignorant. You are not even ignorant. You are a truth ununderstood by yourself. You are a truth ununderstood by yourself. You don't have to look into the mirror and start crying. What has time made me? Oh my God, what has time done to me? It has brought about wrinkles. It has destroyed me. You don't have to cry before the mirror. Mirror is not going to console you. The best thing is, correctly define yourself and cheer up yourself. Correct definition cheers you up. You are truth ununderstood to yourself. It is the depressing definitions that make you depressed, I'm telling you. It is the depressing definitions. It is the depressing ideas that depress you. You don't have to feel I could not do a job. That's a very depressing idea. So what? Can a job add to your glory? Suppose you have done some big executive, business executive, going to Singapore every day. Does it mean really you become someone more glorious? Nothing can add to your glory. It is full. Therefore, if you don't have a job, and if you have a lot of time to look into Vedanta, I think you are blessed. It takes time to discover your blessings. Oh, Swamiji, my friend is a big officer वगैरह. क्या करना? Unnecessary. उनका प्रारब्ध है. अपना प्रारब्ध है. God has. If your destiny is so good, you can relax and think about the truth. You just like. But then she makes a lot of money. क्या करना? She is taking same roti and har ka dal, and you are also taking same roti and dal. तो फर्क क्या है? What is great about? Nothing need add to your glory. Don't imagine. Swamiji, I am not a working person, I am only a housewife. So what? Just think. That means what? Don't say I am a housewife. I am a leisurely individual. I do. It's a wrong definition. I am a housewife. I am a free, enjoying, blissful, reflecting individual. The moment you change your definition, you will be happy. You say, I am only, that only, just strike off. That should not come anyway. I am a mere, only, these are all depressing stuff. I am a free individual. I am a working individual, and in contrast, what is it? I am a free individual. Yes. Let the donkeys work. And let a thinking person study the truth. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There was